time is nigh. Open up your eyes to see the signs of the times. Got to be wise to all of their lives. Look to the sky from where my help comes. Wake up, got to wake up from the slumber. Don't let them pull you under. Rise up above the water. Never let them wrestle you into the mud.
Yes. All right, family, greetings. Greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, Empress Reserve Menin. Yes, family. One perfect balance. Y'all already know. Any nick of time. Yeah. Here they're doing some things. Welcome to Politically Incorrect, where we get it correct. And if we're not correct, feel free to correct us. Tonight, we're going to touch on a few things. Yes, we're going back to the land. And we're going to touch on Mr. Ralph Thorne, as always, faithful to Mr. Ralph Thorne. We're going to say iron sharpen iron. We're going to keep Ralph Thorne sharp. And we're going to have this question: why are we still on the fire? Now, I'm going to say some things tonight that might be a bit disturbing to you and some of the viewers. So viewers' discretion is advised in early. You know, I'm going to share some stuff that will probably, it will put a spin on things, but it might disturb some people. So in advance, I'm saying, these things happen. But we're going to address some stuff tonight. Well, rather, we're going to undress some stuff tonight. We're going to undress some stuff. Why are we still on the fire? And I do mean that, pun intended. Why are we still on the fire? The situation in Nelson Street, I want to touch on it briefly. Not too much, but briefly. Now, put it in perspective. Because to my knowledge, they were supposed to be doing some relocation, and some folks didn't even want the homes that they were offering, and coincidentally and circumstantially, things happen. Oh, yeah. All right, there you go. Special delivery. I got a special delivery. Feel fussy. I mean, I guess got to put it here so you don't. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Yes, family. So good night to everyone. Anthony, I see you, Mr. Clark. Greetings to you, family. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. And what is it you want to tell a friend? You're watching. If the phone ring right now, you tell them I can't talk. I'm watching Politically Incorrect. They say politically who? Politically Incorrect. What is that?
News for the people in real time.
It is real news for the people in real time. Real news for the people in real time. Make sure you go tell a friend, like, share, subscribe, all that fancy stuff, yada, yada, yada. If I got to tell you to do that, then maybe you shouldn't be on here. You should already been subscribed, already click that notification bell, click the all, because if you don't click all, they're going to pick which ones you see and which ones you don't see. We don't give them that control. But I go and get into it tonight. Jacqueline, I see you too, family. I see you too. Rowan, greetings and salutations to you. Shalom to the family. For sure. I see you too, family. I see you too. Jackie, NYC family. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Go tell a friend. I'm going to share some stuff tonight. I'm telling you, it's going to disturb some people for sure. Where do I start, though? Got a lot to share tonight, so I'm going to try to consolidate it as much as possible and not talk too much. Well, maybe not talk a lot, but I definitely going to talk too much tonight, for sure. So having said that, let me start with this one. I think it's important to set the tone. So yeah, it's important to set the tone. I think it's best to set the tone this way. Yeah, this is definitely where I want to start. I'm going to start with Mr. Ralph Thorne out the gate. Now, there was a walk-on, of course, Saturday, and to my understanding, Mr. Thorne was present, as were a lot of other individuals bringing awareness. And let me just put this up here really quick. Yeah, somebody know Mr. Thorne, might want to tell him, yo, you featured on Politically Incorrect tonight. And I want to say this again. Look, man, this might upset some folks. I'm telling you in the early. If you're offended by what I'm about to say, what I'm about to share, and what I'm about to expose, and I use the word I shouldn't even say expose, because I don't know if I'm not really exposing anything. I'm merely making a request to Mr. Thorne. I'm making a request to Mr. Thorne. So this is not a expose kind of thing. This is me simply making an informal request to Mr. Thorne. So we're going to touch on that. Then we're going to get into why are we still on the fire? You know what I'm saying? Why are we still on the fire? Do we really understand, family? Do we really understand? Do we really understand? Maria, I see you too, Maria. Greetings, family. Listen, at 7:49, working. It working. Listen, it working. Someone said I should have did it before and after shot. The truth is, man, I ain't gonna have to tell you the truth, man. When I was finished with the after, right? Like I had to literally hold myself and drag myself carrying this piece of equipment that's almost half a ton. It's a little under half. It was about it's probably about half a ton up that hill, man. Man, she but like Jacob, I didn't let her go until she blessed me. So she blessed me. So I was able to clear a quarter section of that acre, a lot I was working on, and it was like magic. But I ain't gonna front. It is not for the faint at heart. I thought, I feel like I left up a house right now. But anyhow, Maria, we're gonna get to that. Noel, I see you, fam. I see you. Oh, Noel said he's coming tomorrow. I'm out shopping for the fire victims who lost it all in the fire. Listen, Noel, noble. I was going to say to you, well, I could say to you, I don't know how much weight you're allowed to carry in a suitcase or if you're going to pack a barrel and send it. If that wasn't the case, I was going to suggest to you that, some of the items can be purchased locally. We do have some local shops here that some folks do have, direct links to. You're more than welcome to come and also purchase stuff locally, supporting the economy here, stimulating the economy here as well. I didn't say you can't get some stuff overseas. Might be certain things might be a bit more economical to purchase overseas, but there's some things that you probably can get here as well that wouldn't have to overload you and got pay the airplane, freight or whatever, extra baggage. All that additional funds can be spent here again to build the economy. So give thanks for that, for sure. And we can make a day of it. Daffodil, I see you too. Maria, you're right to laugh at me, man. Look, it had me exhausted. I couldn't even take a picture. I didn't even have the strength to take a picture. That definitely took me, yeah. It definitely put things in perspective. But yeah, everyone, I think that's good on Noel's part. He's coming in to do some stuff for sure. We give thanks. I'm going to touch on that tonight. Having said that, we ain't going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into this. Why are we still on the fire? Well, I want to paint the picture as to why we're still on the fire. And I'm going to springboard off of part of what Mr. Thorne said on the walk on Saturday. And I'm going to use this phrase to put it into context. And I got to definitely say thanks to John Moore for providing the footage on this piece. You can check John Moore's page out. I suppose he has some other stuff. Hopefully John is okay with us using his footage. And we give credit to where credit is due. Having said that, give me a mic check, by the way, sound check. Sean, I see you too, family. Greetings to you too. And we are not hello, Sean. We hailing high. We hail up or we greetings. We definitely in hell low because hell is low. We definitely coming out the grave without question. Without question, Sean. Here we're going on though. Give me a mic check real quick. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check.
Real news for the people in real time.
Loud and clear. So this was happening, family. Give an ear to this here real quick. I want to make a point really quick.
When I was coming here this morning, let me find the verse for you. Do you know the name Ainsley Bain? Ainsley Bain called me this morning and told me that he heard that I had a job here to do. And he told me that the theme was, we are not afraid.
All right, so the theme is we are not afraid, and I totally support the theme, like I said, because we've been doing this. It is evident at this point that people are pushing forward. This is not your old Barbados, be seen and not heard. This is not that time. And because it's not that time, we're living in the time of Aquarius, the water bearer. well, the knowledge got to be poured out onto the people. So anybody coming in this time with a Pisces philosophy, I'm gonna say it again. Anybody come to you in this time, people, with a Pisces philosophy, although we on the precipice of change, and they're promoting Pisces and not Aquarius, understand what I'm saying? There's going to be a merger. It has to be. We're at that precipice point. So you're going to get a bit of one and a bit of the other. We're at the transitioning point. But keep in mind that we're heading into the heart of Aquarius. This is so what there's no longer a balance between the Pisces and Aquarius. It got to be predominantly Aquarius, and that's why politically incorrect functions on that platform. We're living in the time of Aquarius. Pisces is gone. Whether they want to hold on to it or not is another story. But we're living in Aquarius. Why am I saying this? Well, if they're not pouring knowledge into you, if they're not edifying your soul with the knowledge, wisdom, and spiritual understanding, if it's all an emotional trip, that's Pisces. Emotional trips is Pisces. It's the theological doctrine from all seminars that every minister has been, that who is ordained, has been initiated, let me use the right terms, into doing, completely into doing. So we know what it is, man. We know what it is. But listen to this really quick.
And we know what has happened to Marcia and Dave and Kimar over the last few days. I don't think they mind me saying to you that they have received threatening letters from some cowards in this country. From cowards. And we are not cowards.
Now, wait a minute. Now, he said they got it from, now, Mr. Ralph Thorne is a lawyer. Well, let me not say that. Mr. Ralph Thorne is supposed to be a lawyer. So he would know and should know that unless he has facts, perhaps he does, then to say that the letters came from some cowards locally is either A, misleading, or he's implying that he knows something about who sent them, which is another conversation. Because if he's suggesting by his statement that they're from some local cowards, well, I would suspect that's because perhaps they were mailed locally, is what I'm going to suggest. So if they're coming from some local individuals who are mailing them in Barbados locally, well, we can make the assumption that they came from people in Barbados. Or maybe not. Maybe somebody outside of Barbados utilizing somebody in Barbados to do this. Why am I focusing on this? Well, I'm not. Right now, anybody sending threats to anybody, you should take that very serious. And by the way, Marcia or Kimar and Brother Dave, I mean, I am certain that they're taking this very serious, whether local or regional or international. So whether we call them cowards or not, one of the things we don't want to do is agitate the situation. Because for me speaking, personally speaking, okay, we could call them cowards. We could go ahead and say that they're cowards. We could do that. We could cause them to say, well, you know what? I'll prove that I'm not a coward. My thing is, this situation needs to be handled with a matter of urgency and delicacy for the simple fact that some people are threatening people on not a social media or in jest, but I haven't seen any letters. I don't know what the letters contain, but it's a serious matter, man. To the point where, like me personally speaking, if I had got a letter, I'm gonna put the letter. I'm gonna do one of two things. Look, I'm gonna do one of two things. One, I'm gonna put the letter out for the world to see. Since it's that serious, I'm gonna put it out there early, because if they're going as far as threatening people, who knows what exes to come. So I'm gonna put it all out there anyhow for the world to see, you know, or I just disregard it. I won't even speak on it, won't even say a word about it, period. Because people who tend to be in that position may be doing things for attention. So tact have to be deployed in this situation. Me, I probably wouldn't have said a word. Not a word. But my position is this, though. I put it all out there for the world to see in full detail, or don't say a word. But I'm not trying to come on and agitate anybody and call them cowards and, we ain't scared and that kind of stuff. Because for they're concerned, we don't negotiate with terrorists. And that should be considered a terrorist act, quite frankly, and should be dealt with accordingly. With the stealth and precision, I saw supposedly the authorities have their ways of tracking stuff or checking stuff, but it ain't nothing to play with. So I'm not sure I would be out there. But anyhow, Ralph went that route. But that's not my focus. What he says next is what I want to focus on.
And we've come here this morning, this afternoon, to assert that we are not cowards.
Now, like he said, he included himself now going from the other saying, we are not cowards. So good. So since Ralph Thorne is not a coward,
we have come to assert in single voice, we are not afraid.
We are not afraid.
And I want you to say with me and to say with Marcy and Kimar and Dave, we are not afraid. And we are not afraid to stand with you. Because we know that this march is a march of the righteous. That this is a coalition of the righteous.
I thought he was going to say a coalition of united people.
This is a congregation of people who believe.
Yeah, well,
in truth and justice. And that truth should always be spoken to power.
That's it right there. And that truth should always be spoken to power. Well, Ralph, I want to call you out on this then. I want to call you up rather than I ain't calling you out. I got a question for you, Ralph. Since you're a lawyer and you are in Parliament and you are familiar with Parliament, when do you plan on explaining to the people of Barbados, Ralph, the same people you talk about standing with, the same people you said we're not cowards and that power is present, but you're not afraid to speak truth to it? When are you going to speak the truth to the power and explain to the people of Barbados, the good people of Barbados, that they are slaves? When are you going to tell them that? And because they are slaves and viewed as cattle, it doesn't matter whether you walk, agitate, the system is only going to adjust while you do these things and put it in a different way. Because since the day of John the Baptist, the kingdom have suffered violence, Ralph, and the violent take it by force, Ralph. You talk about speaking truth to power. Here's a question for you. When are you going to tell, you are an ordained minister, to what I understand. If I'm wrong, please correct me. You are a member of the bar, the British Accreditation Registry. If not, correct me. Well, I've seen you being identified as a King's Counsel. I don't know if you denounced that or you denied it. I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong. My number's on the screen. What I'm saying is this, though. Why don't you tell the people of Barbados that they are 3/5 of humans? That they're not seen as individuals who have merit, who have the ability to even reason on their own behalf? Why don't you tell the good people of Barbados that the law practice is to perpetuate this standing, even in court? Now, when you go to court with your black robe on, Mr. Ralph Thorne, that you perpetuate the fraud that they don't have a clue that you are part of. With your legalese language, with your Latin that you speak. Right now, you're speaking the language of the slaves. You're speaking English. But the language that you speak based on the fraternities that you are part of, we know what that is. Why don't you speak that truth to power, Ralph, and tell the people of Barbados that they are not really eligible for none of what they're asking for because they don't have any standing in law? Why don't you tell them that, Mr. Ralph? And this is why I cannot take this man serious. And I can't even say it any louder, family. All I'm suggesting, there are a number of things. If Ralph Thorne is truly going to lead the opposition, I'm not sure why nobody's asking him these questions. Why does Ralph Thorne not stand on the shoulders of all the people who came before and denounce the fact that he is part of the problem? You can't be part of the problem and offering the solution, Ralph. You can't be. I'm not telling you to quit your practice or nothing in such. I'm simply saying, speak the truth. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Tell the people of Barbados the truth. That you speak legalese, we don't speak the same language. You wear the robe for a reason. I mean, those who know, it's not a secret. If it was a secret, it's been out since 1945. Man, I mean, even go that route. I'm gonna go a different route though. I'm gonna go a different route. You keep doing this. Like I said, I'm not questioning you. I have a question or two for you. The questions that nobody else seems to be able to ask you. Well, since you speaking the truth to the people about what's going on in Parliament, in fact, in terms of the government offering paint to people and this kind of stuff, like, don't get me wrong. All that to make World Cup look. World Cup is going. Cricket World Cup is going to still happen. Period. It's not this. It's like it's going to happen. Whether people paint their homes or don't paint their homes, it's going to happen. If the country, if the administrators want to give the impression that, you know, things look better than it really is, but that's politics, Ralph. I mean, you ain't doing no different. You're not telling the people the truth of the facts, the truth of the matter. You're not giving them the truth of the fact that you can't tell them that they talking and marching on one level, but in reality, there's a much easier way to accomplish everything other than going that route. Why you don't tell them that, Ralph? I mean, you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. If the government is violating the basic constitutional rights of the people, if the government, Mia Motley's administration, is violating constitutional rights of the people of Barbados, Ralph, why don't you put a class action together and sue the government of Barbados for constitutional violations, Ralph? No, you know, why go through all this back and forth? Why don't you represent the people that you say you want, the opposition? Why don't you, you were supposed to be the official leader of the opposition? Well, oppose. Do it through the court and see what happens. Like Philip Springer. Just shout out to Philip while we at it. I did. Oh man, let me stop. But hold on, family. I could go deeper into that. I don't want to get into the rest of that. I definitely don't want to get into the rest of that. These sermons and stuff. It's we speak truth to power. Mr. Thorne, speak truth to the power then. Rather than even speak the truth to the power, give the people the power, tell them the truth. Rather than speak truth to power, give the people the power and tell them the truth, Ralph, that they're not really no more than cattle on a plantation called Barbados, that is still a plantation and is ran as a plantocracy. Therefore, the people in the government, all they could do is what they were brought here to do. Let me put it in perspective. This is why it started this way, family, because I was going somewhere with this. Let me go all the way over to the folks over there in the good country, Britain. This is a site. I'm gonna give you all the link to this. You can watch the whole thing. I really don't want to play the whole thing. I'll play a part of it. Meet the Troy MP living off the profits of a slave plantation. I'm gonna play this right now, family, and I want y'all to listen very carefully to what is said and what is revealed in this. Okay? Listen very carefully. Very carefully. In fact, hold on a minute. Let me see, because I'm sure some folks, before I go too far in the comments, hearing you loud and clear, sounds good. I just got some, okay, Noel, good stuff, bro, good stuff. Looking forward to seeing when you come. Careful, counsel. They have allegedly come from cowards. I ain't even going to touch that. I allegedly come from cowards. I ain't even touching that, family, because I ain't looking to gaslight anybody. I wish them all well. I hope they get to the bottom of this, whatever it is, wherever it's coming from, and they sort that out. So that's nothing to play with. I don't know. I need to be dealt with. They need to call Black Lion Security. That's what they should do. See what's going on. Blessings, family. Blessings. Big P, and I see you too, family. There's in Barbados. I hear it on the Marcy Week show. I am not sure exactly what you're referring to, Anthony. I guess you're referring to the same letters as well. Like I said, I'm not saying they are or they aren't. I'm saying that this needs to be taken serious and not be played with, man. We take all threats seriously. We ain't playing. So people cannot ask questions when they don't understand the position they are in. Facts. 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 Maria said he's a liar. I ain't even touching it. He's interesting, to say the least, in all caps. I like it. Perhaps that's an acronym. Hold someone accountable. He has officially infiltrated the unofficial opposition. Yo, you couldn't have said it any better. And that's my whole position at this point. He has not done anything to prove his worth, his weight in gold up to this point. Not a thing. Not a thing. Just talking about this political mudslinging. I've not heard any viable alternatives. I've not heard any real matters being discussed. I ain't heard his position on a number of issues which I brought up, including K and the school issue, the education. Look, they had 11 plus this week. By the time they came into power in 2018, all they were saying is we're going to adjust the 11 plus. We're going to change that. This is 2024. Up to now, 11 plus is still the 11 plus. Family is all smoke and mirrors, man. All smoke and mirrors, man. Greetings, family. We see you too. Daffel, I see you because he is also a problem. He's fighting his own fights with me on a different level. Just he hiding behind the people. Well, guess what? He can't hide them all. Watch this. Watch this. Listen to this very carefully, family.
Behind me is MP Richard Drax's estate. He owns 2% of Dorset. He's probably the richest landowning MP. And his familial wealth is directly linked to the slave trade.
Richard Drax is the Conservative MP for Dorset South,
and essentially a modern-day feudal lord.
This is his estate, Charba.
Let me just pause for a second. This is the estate of Mr. Drax, by the way. This is where he lives. In fact, this way he lives, yeah, but his estate is surrounded by, get this, a 3-mile wall. I'm going to say that again. He lives on an estate that is surrounded by a wall that's 3 miles long. I'm going to let that sink in for a bit. But I want y'all to pay attention to what this man's about to say, because I had never heard this part before. But check this out.
Park. It's surrounded by a 3-mile wall known locally as the
Dead-in-law. See the Latin right there, family? Translated as dead-in-law. Mort en Dorit. Ralph Thorne, did I pronounce that right? Because I'm sure you know what that is. Dead-in-law. Family, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Understand that there are things that Ralph could say that he has never yet said, which is why I'm telling you, how y'all going to just trust this man like this when he ain't talking the facts? He's not giving the power to the people. He's retaining it for himself. He is retaining it for himself. Why is that? That's a bit strange since you about here representing people. You ain't drop a nugget. You ain't even drop a speck of gold dust yet, man.
Great Wall of Dorset. Educated at Harrow, he's been a journalist, a soldier, and now a politician. The latest in a long line of Draxes to be a Dorset MP. If he sounds like a relic of empire, that's because he is. His family developed and perfected the sugar plantation, bringing chattel slavery to Barbados.
The key person really in the Drax family and in the history of the Caribbean, if it's going to be a single person, is James Drax. He sailed out.
James Drax. Listen to what he about to say next, family.
The Caribbean, if it's going to be a single person, is James Drax. He sailed out to Barbados on the first ship taking settlers to what was then a completely empty island. He arrived in 1620.
Well, he said it was a completely empty island. Well, that isn't really the truth of the matter. In fact, if you look here,
settlers to what was then.
If you pause it here really briefly, right there to the top, which we know as the northern part of the island. What do you see, family? Let me see who's paying attention. Let me check the comments. Let me see what you see. Tell me what you see, family. Let me get my live on my own device so I can see what's going on here, man. See what's going on for sure. Tell me what you see in the top hand section of the island. Tell me what you see, family. Let me see who's paying attention. Beverly, I see you too, family. Looks like settlers. Sean said, yep, mort means death. That's right, family, dead in law. They're not playing with us. Why are we still on the fire? I'm going to tell you why we're still on the fire in a minute. Mr. Drax doesn't want to accept his connection to the atrocities of slavery. Why is he taking the money? Because that's where it all stems from. Well, guess what? You see you, Beverly. See you two more. Can anybody tell me what they see? Are they huts? Okay, look a little deeper. What's that word, family? What's that word? What's that word? Ah, somebody paying attention. Wow, develop and perfect the sugar plantation. Drax is probably drenched in blood of our ancestors. We ain't even gonna touch it yet. Hold on, we gonna get to it, man. I'm gonna give you, yep, that's right. Greetings to my brethren, Rastafari. You see the word Scotland, right? They said he came to pretty much a barren, empty island. That's what they tell us, right? But that's not true. That's why if you go to St. Lucie, St. Peter, that area, what you can see on this map is including part of St. Peter and Belplain and all that other area. You see the word Scotland. Scotland, yes, family. The Scots were here early out too. And they've had some development going on. They attempt to colonize Barbados. Small section they took at, and they were doing their thing in the north. That's why when it comes to the history of I'm gonna say this loosely, the Jews in Barbados, there's two conflicting stories. Well, not really conflicting. Because if you go to St. Peter and you read what's written up there in the north, the dates and everything else are very different to what they tell you happened in Barbados in what we consider the southern part of the country. But 1627 as a day of settlement, when the English came and wrote their name on a tree, which was like 2 years prior to that. 2 or 3 years prior to that, they came and wrote their name on a tree. They carved their name on a tree and claim it for themselves. But meanwhile, the Scots had some things going on in the north. And the Jews and the synagogue that was up there in St. Peter, that's still there, although it's a ruined building looking like it's dilapidated. Who know, who don't know, don't know. Tell the people the truth, Mr. Thorne. Give the people the power.
A completely empty island. He arrived in 1627, and some 20 years later, he was the force behind the sugar revolution in Barbados. What James Drax did was...
He was the force behind the sugar revolution in Barbados. Listen to the word, the force behind it. Listen carefully, family.
The force behind the sugar revolution in Barbados. What James Drax did was establish the first successful sugar plantation. I mean, you could say that Drax was the Henry Ford of the sugar business. Crucially, he was the first person to shift from employing indentured white labor to enslaved black labor. And certainly James Drax was certainly...
Y'all heard that? Or y'all missed that? Wait. Hold on a minute. Did y'all hear what he just said that Mr. Draxall put in motion in 1627 after he came here? Did you all hear what he put in motion? Again, let me see who's paying attention, man, because I be on here talking and sharing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I don't be doing this for fun, man. This is for the love. Let me know y'all paying attention, man. Let me see if y'all paying attention. What did he say Mr. Draxall put in motion? Pop quiz for those in the front. Pop quiz for those in the front. What did he say Mr. Draxall put in motion? If you want me to play it again, say play it again. Jack Lee asks, why did the English claim that Who did the English claim the island from? Profound, man. Good night, my brother. Peter, long time no see. Good to hear you. Good to hear you. Divine greetings, family. That's right, Big Pain, the Scotland District. You hear the name? Scotland District. That's like in America where they have the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia, which is what we call Washington, D.C. The reason why it is called Washington, D.C., because it's Washington, the District of Columbia, which is a whole different part of America and is not really America, but that's another conversation. It's sovereign land. Man, look, don't even start me. Scotland District, the word district isn't what we think it means. It don't mean it's the Scotland location. It don't mean that. They had a whole separate treaty. It was a separate district with regards to Barbados. Family, this thing is deep. This thing is deep. Deep, man. Brilliant question, Jacqueline. I agree. We should ask his family for reparation. In that case, to be the force. Hold on. We're going to get to that in a minute, man. Somebody paying attention. Shift from white indentured to blacks. Listen carefully. Hold on. Somebody paying attention. Somebody paying attention here. I love it. The sugar industry. Put a star on that one. We know this ages ago, bro. I agree with you. We might know this ages ago, but watch what I'm going to show you. Watch what I'm going to show you. Slave labor. All right. Play it again. All right, Andrea. I got you. Good night, all. I see you. Greetings to you too, family, kings and queens. We're all here to learn. We all learning. He shift white labor to black labor. He didn't quite shift. See, that's what we were told. See, the brother said we all know this a while ago. Well, technically, because that's what we were always told, that they changed it. But nah, that's not what he just said. That Drax all did. That's why he can't wait to get the book, actually. It's on order. Listen again carefully, because he didn't just shift it. That's what he did.
Forward of the sugar business. Crucially, he was the first person to shift from employing indentured white labor to enslaved black labor. And
he was the first to ship, not shift, ship white indentured servers to basically rule over the black. I'm gonna play that again, man. Y'all gotta hear that. That's deep.
Sugar business. Crucially, he was the first person to shift from employing indentured white labor to enslaved black labor. And
so here's the thing though. So let me ask a question. If you look around Barbados now, the white indentured, or what we call the white Bajans, and nobody wants to really say it, but who is running the country pretty much? Like if you think about it, like who in charge of all the corporations, the big ones, the major ones? Who in charge? Who's in charge?
Certainly, James Drax was certainly live like a prince.
Richard Drax still owns Drax Hall Estate, a large plantation which his ancestors acquired centuries ago. One of Drax's ancestors wrote a handbook on how to mobilize and exploit transported Africans.
That's right. But here's the deal, family. As if that wasn't sufficient. Let me drop the next one for you real quick and put it in perspective, because this is where we're really going tonight. And I found the clip that I was looking for a while. In fact, let me start it at the right spot. Let me go back here. Here you go. Was it that? Is it right here?
This is history.
Yeah, right here. I think this is where it is. Let me go. To no other than Mr. Hilary Beckles himself, that speaks on the Drax Hall plantation. Let me go ahead and drop this link. Let me put the first one up so y'all can listen to the rest of that if you choose to. It was quite interesting, to say the least. Listen to what Mr. Beckles said. And this is why I'm saying to Mr. Ralph Thorne, if you want to talk to the people of Barbados, there's some things that happen in Barbados that is not common knowledge. And because we go into the books and we see certain things, if we don't correct these things and put them in perspective, then are we still functioning off the same information? Because keep in mind, Barbados went from a colony to when they, quote unquote, emancipate the Africans, which, as far as I'm concerned, is when slavery actually started, all the way up to 1966 when it became independent, which basically the day before independence, it was still the British colony functioning and governing off the colonization and the colony rules from Westminster to 1966, where it became an independent, governing itself by the same Westminster, just calling things a bit different. So now it's a republic governing by the same Westminster, just calling itself a little different. But yet these things that were in the books that put things in perspective, these archaic rules and writings are still in effect. Here's one of them that Mr. Beck will speak about.
To do with those bodies and so
on. Let me go ahead here.
So it is all around us. Every day it's around us. This history, this legacy, it's almost impossible to escape it. It is so present. So those who say, you know, slavery was a long time ago, let's forget and move on. As I've heard Mr. Richard Drax says, nothing to do with me, it's all in the past. Let's forget it, nothing to do with me. But it is all around us. It is very much today. It's alive, it's around us. On my way from the airport, when I land in Barbados and I'm on my way home, I have to drive through the estate of Richard Drax, the Drax Hall Plantation. And every day I take that ride to and from the airport. And all I can feel is the sheer, the evil, the bloodthirst soil of the Drax Hall estate and the plantation that has been a site of genocide for so many African peoples. And of course, we all know Drax. We feel the evil in the terrorism of Drax Plantation, Drax Hall, the owners of that estate. So let me begin there, therefore, and speak about the Drax family, because we need to put Richard Drax into context. You need to really understand the context of your MP and what he represents, who he is, the legacy. But his family came out to Barbados in the 1630s. And you're speaking about before the English Civil War. And he came out, James Drax arrived in Barbados with £300. And we know from his records, his correspondence, he did say to one of his very good friends who documented it, I've arrived here with £300 and I'm not going to leave until I have made at least 300,000. So imagine the ambition and the scope of that. How do you convert an arrival of £300 with an intended departure of £300,000? And I'm going to do this, he said, by entering into slave trading and slave plantation management.
Now, hold on a second. It is obvious that Mr. Draxall came to Barbados with a plan. He didn't come here trying to figure out how he's going to do it. It wasn't a trial and error. He came with a plan, a full plan on how he was going to accomplish this particular thing he was planning on achieving, as far as when he went to write the book as well. So he already knew what his plans were. But check this part of the plan that puts everything in perspective as to why we are still under fire. You think that fire in Nelson Street is by chance? You think the fire station getting there when they got there, the absence of water, whether in large or small amount? I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me finish this part.
And lo and behold, yes, this is what eventually he did. So what I want to do is to give you this journey of the Drax family in about 10, 15 minutes of the Drax family arriving in the Caribbean and initiating slavery and slave trading, and all the way through the 200 years of slavery, and then through the almost 200 years since slavery into the present time. And what you will find along that 390 years from the beginning of slavery down to today, the Drax family features prominently in every aspect of that journey. Every critical moment in that journey, from the rise of slavery to the end of slavery to the present legacy discourse, the Drax family is at the center of it.
They're at the center of it from the beginning. Well, he said the end, but then he said to present day, which I thought was interesting. Because if they still running the program, if they're the founding fathers of this whole thing, if Mr. Draxall had the first successful sugar plantation in the Western Hemisphere, then wait a minute, man. They still running things generations later on that estate up there in England somewhere. Yeah, this is quite interesting. But look how he was able to do this.
There's no family in Britain that has been so consistently and persistently attached to slavery and its legacy than the Drax family. One, there is no family that has made arguably as much money out of slavery and post-slavery than the Drax family, because they were in it longer than any other family. They are the only family in Britain today that we can identify as those who created slavery, managed slavery, emancipated all the way into today. So they have an unbroken history, and it's the only family we know today in Britain that has an unbroken history with slavery from conception.
Unbroken history. You hear that? Unbroken. So they have consistently been in this thing all along. What makes it possible? Listen to what he says next, family.
So let us go with the beginning. We know that in the 1630s, the English colonists in Barbados, in their parliament, what was then called an assembly, in their assembly made the most important critical legislative intervention. They determined in their parliament that from here on in, from this moment in time, any African who is brought to the island will be classified as non-human, will be classified as a form of property, a form of real estate, or shall be enslaved for life. Thus, the beginning of the notion that an African person, that is, once you were brought to the island, you are an enslaved person, you are enslaved for life, and that status is passed on through your children in perpetuity. So,
okay, I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute, because I don't know if y'all heard that before. I don't know if have y'all ever heard that before? Now, it's ironic that that particular section of his presentation becomes choppy. All the rest is fine. Just that part becomes a little choppy. That's actually from the original web YouTube site. That's not on my end. I thought it was very interesting. But understand what he put in motion. Understand the 4 points that he put in motion that is to be passed on. Man, hold on. Let me play that again, man. To your children and your children's children. So wait a minute. If this is to be passed on and passed on, the same way he passed on his legacy, this is to be passed on as well in Barbados. So look, let me play this again.
as an African person,
Let me go back.
a form of, from here on, the English colonists in Barbados.
The English colonists. Now, this is what the English put in Listen.
In their parliament, what was then called an assembly. In their assembly,
the same assembly that Mr. Ralph Thorne is a part of today. That same assembly, because all this information is they all know this, you know. They all know this.
Made the most important critical legislative intervention. They determined in their parliament that from here on in, from this moment in time, any African who is brought to the island will be classified as non-human.
You're first classified as non-human. You think Barbados government see the people in Nelson Street as human? Because if they see them as human, they would not leave them in the condition that Nelson Street is in. But the home, everybody all of a sudden talk about how close the homes are, and they all wood and they're dry and this and that in the condition. And the ministers all, and they talk about, well, we're going to pay rent and we're going to relocate and this kind of. I mean, we're going to touch it in a minute. But if you think for a second before this particular fire, because it's not the first fire, keep in mind that they do want that location for what they plan on building, and folks don't want to move out that location, so they might have to find ways to help get you out. We'll get you out, we'll rebuild and bring you back. But of course, the rebuild never happens, so you never actually get to come back. It's like people moving into the Pine. Y'all remember the Pine, why the Pine was built in the first place? But I won't even touch that on this one. What I'm saying is that you were considered non-human. Why are we still on the fire? Because they don't see Africans in Barbados or the descendants of African, let me get into it a little further first, as even human, period.
Will be classified as a form of property.
You are non-human, you are property, namely cattle, hence chattel slavery. You are chattel, so now you're hence chattel slavery, hence the term chattel house. Let's put it in perspective, family. Do you think that the people that solely at the administrators of this country, including Mr. Thorne, see the people of Barbados as anything other than what they are told to see them as? Because if they don't see them that way, rather than holding the power to rule over them and give them fish, give the people the power and teach them how to fish so they could feed themselves and their family. Give them the circumstances they need to do so. No, 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 no. We keep them in a perpetual state for generations to come. They're not even human. In fact, they're cattle. Hold on, what else he says?
A form of real estate.
A form of real estate. Now, let me touch this real quick. The reason why you're considered real estate is because you are the real estate. That's why Barbados doesn't have any resources. The natural resources that Barbados has is the people, the real estate. Hence, they use the people to bargain with when they go for these loans and the IMF and whatnot. It's the people they bargaining with. The real estate. Because you can't move the land. You can't move the land. You can only indicate you own it based on a document, which is a whole different conversation. You can't own the land. I have never seen Tucson Funeral Home and any funeral procession going somewhere and a house and land on a flat bed being buried next to the person. You can't move it. You can move paper. Ask Mr. Payne about that. Show it to my family in UK, by the way. But you can't move the land. You see? So, but it didn't stop there though. What else they said?
Or shall be enslaved for life.
Your children and your children's children will be enslaved for life. Listen to the term, life.
Thus, the beginning of the notion that an African person, that is, once you were brought to the island, you are an enslaved person, you are enslaved for life, and that status is passed on through your children in perpetuity. So,
in perpetuity. That status, you hear what the word he used? Hold on, let me say it again. Listen to the word he used.
And that status is passed.
That status. That is why Marcy Weeks and the others got to go marching ever so often, and big up to Marcy and the others who do go walking to bring awareness, because the reality is, it is about the status. What is the status of the people? They are non-human. So the people who run the plantocracy on behalf of Drax Hall in England and all the other hidden plantocracy owners who don't live around here, who put these individuals to govern the place and rule over the African enslaved, they can only do what they're hired to do. They cannot do anything different. And Ralph Thorne is no exception to the rule until he brings an exception to this rule. He is not an opposition leader. He's leading folks to hell in a handbasket, lined with Velcro and velvet. You're stuck to it, man. You're stuck to it. Emancipate yourself, family, from mental slavery. Until Mr. Ralph Thorne give the power to the people, he will always be the Trojan horse as far as I'm concerned. And anybody who not seeing that, like I said, right, family, it's about the status. And they all know it. You think me, I don't know this? They all know it. A lot of these new politicians now learning stuff. They don't know that level. A lot of them don't know that level. That's the old boys club. That's the old guard, quote unquote. The new guards, they may not, they try, the old guards trying to use new guards to cement and secure themselves in a position because they see what's coming. Oh, they know we coming. They know for a fact we coming. They've been knew we coming. They know the stars better than we now. We learning stuff. We are being led by divine order, but they know that. They're just trying to play they don't know. Anyhow, let me hear what he says last year real quick.
Pass on through your children in perpetuity. So you are property in perpetuity. And that become the legal framework, the constitution, so to speak, the first constitution in the Caribbean that led to chattel slavery. And in that assembly, in that framework was James Drax.
James Drax. In that constitution, wait a minute. You mean the same constitution we working with today? Yeah. Yeah. Did they ever change that? Did they ever change the status of the Africans in Barbados? Did they ever change? See, they talk about always one, but don't forget, somebody once said there's pedigree, meaning there's levels, man. There's levels. So did they ever change the status of the people in Barbados? Because if they didn't change the status, then no wonder when there's a fire in a place like Nelson Street, whether the fire truck was literally around the corner or otherwise, that place was going to burn. I hate to say it like that, family, but they wasn't coming out that. Out it for what? That the whole point is to keep us displaced, keep us consistently begging the system to survive. So the fire station, I'm sure they got some good people working there and whatnot, but that ain't no different to any other government institution. There are old guards in there as well who maintain the order of the old guards. When you get to a scene, how many houses that was on fire in Barbados did the fire truck actually put out? I'm just asking the question for the statistics. Whenever I see a fire and I see the fire trucks afterwards, it's only see a charred remain of some sticks left. You don't really see like they came and they out the fire, they doused it. They mostly contain the fire and let everything else burn. So let it burn. They do containment. They don't out fires, they do containment. That might be the policy of the fire stage, the fire unit in Barbados. So don't ask them to do what they're not really there to do. If it was Cape Shepherd, probably. If it was the warehouse up in the place with the cardboard, probably. Just saying. But if it's Nelson Street or wooden houses in an area that we want to occupy for redevelopment, for part of what we're looking to do, we'll let that burn. Like Glenderry, we have a plan already. Listen, they already have a plan for Nelson Street. If somebody could have the audacity to release the files, there are drawings for Nelson Street area that does not include the people in Nelson Street area. I am certain there's a plan for that. That's how they had plans for Glenderry, the new prison before Glenderry actually finished burn. But guess what? I am almost certain, I don't have the evidence, so I can't say for a fact, but I'm almost certain that in the redevelopment of that area in phases, there's a proposal for the Nelson Street area on somebody's desk somewhere in somebody CAD software, on somebody rendering program. There is a layout of what the new Nelson Street should look like. Of course, they're going to keep the the workers that come out at night, perhaps put them in a different space, kiosk probably. But that's what's going on, man.
So James Drax was therefore a legal pioneer of the concept of lifelong slavery and the definition of people of Africa as not human, but subhuman.
Subhuman. Remember that term, family. I don't know if I posted the link already. If I didn't, I'm posting it. If I did, I'm posting it again because I don't think I did. But if I did, I'm dropping it here again in the comments. The link to the rest of this presentation by Hillary Beckles is there in the comment for those who are interested. But family, what I'm saying is this, man. Do you really understand? Do we really understand? This is not going to change until we recognize that we got to first recognize our own status. Yes, we know who we are. We got to deal with knowledge itself. Why you think you don't see no other community keeping noise? You don't see no community out there saying, you know what, y'all are right. We need to march for this. They had a whole big thing with Palestine the other day, and Muslims was out there downtown asking Barbados to come out and support this. Well, I could fully grasp the idea why. I get it. But why don't y'all go down the road and march with Marcy and put up some placards? I'm just asking the Islamic community in Barbados. Y'all don't think this applied to you all, or maybe this doesn't apply to you all? Because the status that's in the books and the Constitution refer to Africans coming to Barbados. And those that were born here for the children and the children's children for generations should remain in perpetuity. So that's interesting. So maybe it's a status thing that everybody else got a different status, and therefore they know that when the government speak, and Ms. Motley speak like this, and all the other ministers in the assembly, the House of Assembly, when they speaking, maybe they know that it don't apply to them, so they don't say nothing. They just keep making their money as merchants do, keep buying up the property as merchants do, probably getting some signed over to them based on some grant as a merchant or migrant coming here for free. But we ain't ready for that discussion, you know. So when I talk about understanding the concept of what's really going on in Barbados and why they're gonna hand out paint, look, you know that paint, right, contains oil, right? I don't know if they're getting oil paint or water-based paint. Let me not say that, but Let me go to the comments real quick. I might have missed a few. I got a lot here, family. The first successful cane factory which started the sugar industry. The first sugar plantation. Monica, I see you too. Greetings to you too. Some people running the country. Okay, wait, hold on. I saw lots of these photos framed at work, always from the public's eye, away from the public's eye. I listen. The reason why those photos are framed at work, away from the public's eye, because and I won't say where you work, but where you work, that individual, man, look. Yeah, I ain't gonna say it because I know that gonna come with a backlash for sure. So I ain't gonna let that ride, man. I ain't gonna let that ride. But sis, I agree with you, and I know what you're saying is the truth. Like I know, and I know why you're gonna find those pictures there, man. We ain't paying attention. Look, what family heritage. Just now we're going to relocate. People saying fire hazards. Of course, can't have what looks like slums or close to their nice new multi-story building. Listen to me. This was just the beginning. They want to clear Nelson Street. Remember, they were supposed to be building those homes somewhere up there by St. Davis or whatever to relocate people to and whatnot. Then folks started seeing the homes. They were so small. They're like, nah, we ain't about that. We ain't moving up there. We ain't about that kind of thing. So some folks might have left, not all, but the idea now is, well, you gotta go. So, you know, the fire started, how it started, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, it's a little suspicious because if the fire department gonna come and say, well, based on our inspection or investigation, the proximity of the homes, the condition of the homes, the age of the homes, the environment, the use of wires and the and rodents eating wires and all, it's a fire hazard, and then they condemn it. Then people gonna have to move. Then they're gonna threaten to come and bulldoze you. Well, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to relocate you temporarily. We're gonna relocate you. We're gonna fix it up, and we're gonna bring you in. But we both know that that's not how that's gonna happen. So this is just phase one in the relocation scheme. So the fire trucks was never going to get there on time because they already got their orders. Don't sleep on the fire service, man. Like I said, I'm sure they're good folks who work in that department. I am certain that they're good people all over Barbados. And this is why folks got to start realizing lines have been drawn, man. Lines have been drawn. I bet all the wealth of Drax hidden in trusts. Of course, Drax, and he know good enough. David Cameron, he's another person. He used to be Prime Minister of the UK. Yep. Listen, that's why I said Drax Hall is the architect at this point, and they all fall under him. So don't be surprised. Oddly enough, the average Caucasian would be ashamed to be a descendant of lineage that was persistently, consistently involved in slavery and would seek to make restitution, it speaks volumes that he still claims Drax Hall. Well, you know what? The reason why he still claims Drax Hall is like what Mr. Becker just said, because they're still involved in it. It hasn't changed. It's like Kentucky Fried Chicken becoming KFC. The owners and the director, the stakeholders are still the same. They just tell you something different so that you not know wiser. So they tell you, well, it's a calling, but then you're independent. But you know what? Now you're a republic. So they tell you what you need to hear. Meanwhile, they all still benefit from the property, the real estate of the children and the children's children in Barbados. They all still benefit from that. So he can't give it up because he's still managing director. You know, and he doesn't want to say that, but that is the reality. That is the reality. They're still running the program. I mean, look around you. The reason why, let me see, do I have that footage? Let me see if I have that footage. I think I have that footage. In fact, I do have that footage. Well, I think I have that footage. Oh, I had that footage. There was a video here. Let me see if I have it. No, I don't have it anymore. I could always search for it. I'm not going to search for it. I'm gonna let that slide. There was a video of one of the ministers speaking about. Well, that's strange. I thought I did have it. Maybe I moved it. It's possible. I might have shifted it. Talking about what was going on and whatnot. And Corey Lane said that he got the call about the fire before the fire truck got the call. And what I thought was interesting about his thing is he kept focusing on time, based on the time. When I checked my timestamp, that kind of stuff, he said he realized that he got the call before the fire station, before the fire. Now, I don't have the video here. I'm sure I could find it, but let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on a second. Because I thought that was quite interesting that he should say that he got the call before, he got the call about the fire before the fire truck. Now, I would like to think, well, you know what? I ain't gonna say it, man. I'm gonna look for the video. I'm gonna look for it. I'm not even going, let me see if I find it. Hang on a second, man. Let me see if I can find it. Bear me a second. Found it. Like, you gotta love the ancestor. They told me, listen, they just whispered in my ear, yo, go get it from this location. I went and checked, and sure enough, they ain't right there. They go right there. They go right there. I wanted to, let me get the part. Let me get to that one because I don't want to play the whole thing.
So I really say
I don't want to do the whole thing because it's kind of long, but I don't want to do the whole thing. Let me play it. 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 Let me go ahead and play it. Let me click this right here. Hang on.
The update for the fire occurred in Valentine Street. As of present, we have 38 adults, 14 children, 1 baby that have been displaced. A total of 16 houses affected. There are 6 houses that are completely burnt out, and the rest, 2 partially damaged. The rest have smoke and suck damage. So we're trying to get that started out. From the get-go, we had the assistance of the Resilience and Reintegration Unit of the Ministry of People Empowerment, who would accommodate all persons that requested accommodation on the night. That number continues to increase because there are persons who thought they could stay inside with the smoke and then realized the smoke was too much. So they reached out. They've been accommodated. Up to this morning, there was a guy one of my team members, he said that he wanted to stay with his brother, but he indicated to me that he did not say so. He's the last person that we need to accommodate as of today, and we're working on that as we speak. So in terms of accommodation that the government through People Empowerment has accommodated thus far, we have 30 adults, 10 children, and the 1 baby is in accommodation. They're being provided for every level that you could imagine. From counseling, breakfast, lunch, dinner, food, everything is being provided at this point in time for them. As we speak, the reintegration unit, they're conducting site visits to see where we can find medium-term housing for them to transition out of the emergency housing the government has provided.
The emergency housing that government has provided is at Savannah and name the other two hotels.
Right, Savannah Hotel and Golden Sands. Those are the two hotels that we're using right now for the emergency housing.
Okay, and when will they have to be transitioned out?
When the government finds a suitable medium-term housing, not a second before. Yeah.
Let's keep in mind that these hotels, if these folks are in these hotels, well, I guess I don't know if the government is paying them for the stay of the individuals there, as the hotel rate, which is perhaps good. I'm not sure who owns Savannah or Golden Sands, but I think those are probably two of the only Black-owned hotels. Well, one of the few Black-owned hotels in Barbados. Golden Sands used to be Black-owned. I don't know if it's still Black-owned, but if it is, that's a different conversation. But listen to what he says next.
One of the other things we'd like to highlight is obviously to thank the Barbadians and the companies who've reached out to assist. I don't ever want to start, I may leave out someone, but I know the first one to reach out was Simplex, and obviously the fundraising committee of the city of Bridgetown, Barbados Labour Party branch, they kicked into gear to start to reach out to companies to ensure that we can get the donations in the St. Ambrose Church as well. They've come on board to help collect things, Jabez House, they're committing as well. You gotta say it louder, okay? Right, Savvy as well, Savvy on the Bay. So a number of companies, a number of individuals are reaching out, and it's really flowing in. One of the things I like to remind people is that there's short, medium, and long term. My experience with the past 5 fires have really been the short term is really easy. A lot of people give a lot of clothes and food, which is needed, but there's a lot of assistance that are needed in the medium and long term as well. I just want people to keep that in mind and continue to keep the families in prayer in mind, and for all Barbadians to rally and do what we can do in this desperate time of need.
There's no disputing that the city, when there are fires, are always calling into question as it relates to the emergency response. Did you, as MP for the city, have any issues with the response by the emergency personnel?
Right, my understanding of it, doing my own research, is that there's an international response time, and the guys were there within the international response time.
Well, he did research on it, and they were there within the international response time, and that's fine. I suppose that's some sort of accepted time frame. I'm not sure how that works, because internationally speaking, response time, I don't know if there's a level, for example, dealing with high-rise buildings versus concrete buildings versus steel industrial complex versus wooden houses that are closely packed together. But he does say that any second time is better because every second does count.
Obviously, there could always be room for improvement.
Of course.
When I got there, the first house was on fire because I got the call. When I checked my record, I got a call before the fire service received their official call. And that happened.
Well, that's my thing. Hold on. So Corey gets a call before the fire truck. The person who's witnessing a fire, apparently, while the people who are in, hold on. Let me just make this make sense. Walk with me if you can here, family. So I'm in a house. I'm sitting there watching Politically Incorrect reruns, of course, and I recognize a fire. So naturally, I'm going to call a fire truck automatically. No, Corey says he got the call before. So which means, wait a minute. Someone is either watching this fire and say, wait, there's a fire. Let me call Corey. And calls Corey and tells Corey, there's a fire in your constituency. Now, if I ain't known no better, right? It's a program called Matlock. There's a man called Sherlock Holmes, right? These men throughout history were known for solving what was considered unsolvable matters. They always wonder how they did it, but why would someone seeing a fire call a minister before calling a fire truck? I mean, I could speculate, but I won't even go there. But why would someone call a minister? He said when he checked his records. I'm guessing he's checking his records. Corey?
Happened about 2 or 3 of my fire record. I got a call. The first house was on fire.
Let me play this again for me. This is why, right? I am saying that I got an issue. Something ain't right. Ralph Thorne, if you going to speak truth to power, I'm saying that's good, but more importantly, give the power to the people by teaching them the truth. I'm gonna let this play here. Just let Corey finish saying what he's saying, family. But listen carefully, because I'm just offering a perspective. I'm not sure why Corey chose to say what he's about to say, and this is disturbing to me. It gives me a red flag and give me goosebumps. Like, wait, Corey, what you trying to say, man? So I'm just saying, man, after a while, right, you get so comfortable in your position, you start to slip.
There could always be room for improvement. When I got there, the first house was on fire because I got the call. When I checked my record, I got the call before the fire
Why would Corey check his record for? I don't sure why he feel the need to check his record, but anyhow.
service received their official call. And that happened about 2 or 3 of my fires where I as MP was called before the fire service.
So this happened at 3 or 4, a few of his fires, 3 or 4 of his fires. He said 3 or 4. Let me get it right, because I want to be misquoting Corey.
Because I got the call. When I checked my record, I got the call before the fire service received their official call. And that happened about 2 or 3 of my fires where I as MP was called before the fire service.
2 or 3 of his fires before. So he got the call on 2 or 3 occasions when there was fires. Prior to this one, if there were 3, then this being the 4th. If it was 2, then this being the 3rd. Or maybe there was more. I don't know how many fires were in the city, but why did Corey feel the need to say that he got the calls before the fire service every time? How is it that someone is calling him? Is it the same person calling him? Is my question, Corey? You could always answer that question in another program. Why would you say that? You keep getting calls before the fire service, because that looks suspicious, bro. Like the person called it, yeah, the fire start, like we put that work in. Yeah. Because why would someone see a fire, decide to, rather than call a fire truck, the same person have the intention to call you? Why are they calling you for first? Like, I don't get that. They concerned. If they that concerned, why would they not call a fire truck first? It's less numbers to dial. Unless they got you on speed dial. I don't know, Corey. But that's all I'm saying, family. This one got me a little disturbed. I wasn't going to even play it, but then the ancestors showed me where to find it. And that was that. But man, are we still on the fire? The answer is yes, man. The answer is yes. They all know it. And they slip and say things like this. Like, this is suspicious, though. Now, I don't know if Corey would, I don't know. I mean, for me, Corey, I'm telling you straight, this says something real suspicious. Why do you mean you get calls before? Anybody see a fire? One thing about fire, right? People take it serious. You say fire, everybody's on alert. So they see fire and they see a fire burning, even if they decide to call you. But why would a person decide to call you rather than call the fire truck? And if the fire is at the stage where it's burning, don't nobody else know it's burning other than the person who called you before the fire got the official call? When you said the official, anyhow, let me let that go. Let me let that go. Family, I'm just saying, right? This is all related. Drax Hall Plantation is up for business, is up and running. They just been shifting the dynamics from cane to tourism. That's why Barbados depends on tourism like it once depended on sugar, because the tourism is the new plantation. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. That's why we talking about reparation. Ralph Thorne, what's your view on reparation? In fact, if your view on reparation is anywhere near ours, and ours, I mean those who are about this life, then you're gonna have to spill some beans, man. You ain't gonna spill the tea, because you up in there with them. You know what's going on. You can't say. In fact, you are a veteran. If you was Corey, like, I wouldn't expect you to make that kind of mistake. Corey Young, he knew, feeling himself. So that one, for him, that was a boast. Yeah, well, he boasted about that. He was boasting. I got calls first. Nah, Corey. Nah, Corey. Nah, Corey. As far as they're concerned, you just up. So all I'm gonna say is that I don't know what that one. This thing going on all now, of course. Yep, the slave title is passed on to your children's in perpetuity, of course. So people descended from that Drax Hall plantation, of course. And guess what? What's their status of what is obvious what their status is? Perpetuity. Therefore, all those politicians are a part of this. Of course, that's why they go into the dean's office, the governor general, well, president, governor general, the same thing. Because she just pretended to be something that she's not, still the governor general. The same thing, just a different, they call it, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, just call it something different, same business. They never changed the formula or the Colonel's secret recipe, same secret recipe as Mr. Drax Hall. And they all swear oath to secrecy. And they take the oath in front of you that they swear the oath to secrecy. Go look at any swearing in of any prime minister and the cabinet and hear what they swear. Go listen to it again. I won't play it now. I don't have, what time is it? I'll wait. I don't have the time to go look for that one, but go listen to it. They swear oath of secrecy. What are they keeping a secret? The fact that you don't know what's going on. That's why they feel they have the right or entitled to treat us as they feel like. And that's why they do it, because they know that in their books, in their minds, in their eyes, they have to see you as such, and therefore they have to treat you as such. It's a matter for us to realize what's going on and decide to do things for ourselves. So my thing is, we ain't begging the government to do for us what we could do for ourselves. Let's just do it, family. Let's just do it. We can't keep talking this talk. Let's just do it. The same folks that coming out to the walk, same folks that feel this way online, we got to find a way to support each other, start planning food. Once we can feed each other, once we can feed ourselves, we good. No, we don't. No, we do not have to all agree and get along. We'll work that out as we go. But what we have to agree on is that we have a common enemy, and we can't mix matters with this or let them in just willy-nilly and put them in positions of authority. Ralph Thorne has questions to answer. I don't care how many times he go in parliament and profess his lawyer degree and act like he is Johnny Cochran when he not. Before Johnny Cochran was assassinated, he had a lawsuit against the United States filing for reparations, and that was his major, that was what he was about to do next before his untimely demise. Yeah, interesting, right? Yep. They continue this system on behalf of Drax, including the former indentured servants ruling over us today. Of course, that's why I tell you, when it comes to white Bajans, don't nobody want to have that conversation. And the thing is, when I say that on here, right, like folks get uncomfortable. But if you're uncomfortable, then maybe there's some truth to what is being said. This is not a white-black issue. This is a right versus wrong issue. This isn't a white-black issue. So if you feel some type of way, then something must be wrong with you. Anyhow, like I said, man, Corey, I don't know why you would say that. You get all these calls before the fire station. I don't understand that, but maybe, that's my point of view. I don't know. I don't know. I know. That would just seem a little strange to me. Just a little strange. Do y'all know, right? In fact, let me give you the last, what time is it? Let me give one more nugget before I go. Well, one more gold bar. This is nugget night. This is gold bar night. Birth certificate sold on the stock market. We ain't even gonna touch that conversation tonight, but you know what's going on clearly. He said, but these ministers are descendants too. So make it make sense. They feel they are exempted. Well, let me tell you something here, Andrea. In all reality, they are descendants too, yes. But the truth is, a lot of plantations in Barbados, see, Mr. Drax came and set the model. He didn't come necessarily and build the entire industry. He came and set the model for others to follow. The truth is, he came here with a plan and he put it in motion. But there were families here who had plantations too that adopted his motion and his formula and took it to another level. A lot of plantations in Barbados were owned and ruled by black folks, or what we call black folks. Some of the Moors that were here from before. Yeah, I said it. Some of the Moors that came down, some of the Jews that came down, they had slaves. They enslaved people in the same fashion. They look just like you and I. In fact, it got to the point where they started to change their Jewish names to other names so you would know who they are. You could ask Mr. Walton Arabarrel about that, his family. You can go and check it out. Go check that out. He's buried in the museum down there in town. I'm just saying. Don't get tapped with this thing. It's not a white and black thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a right versus wrong, good versus evil. We remember King Dal, known for calling people black cattle. Oh man. Was he wrong though? He represented the plantocracy. Hence how he dressed in such a manner and be in a certain way. Maybe he exemplified that. It's another joke too? The lion ship. The lion ship. If you understood the science behind the lion ship at all, they do this in your face. They make fun in your face, the land ship. Even call you a human resource, man. We are all still slaves. Well, we were never really slaves. We were enslaved. We were really prisoners because it wasn't, I always tell people, me personally, emancipation, the day of emancipation is when slavery started, because prior to that, we were enslaved. We were prisoners, kept forced against our will. And we fought. Every time we had a chance, we were fighting. But once they took the shackles off and they had successfully reprogrammed the mind through the different techniques and processes they were using, they took the shackles off and stood back. We all are free to go now. Go, go. We left and came right back. So far as concerned, slavery started with emancipation. And we've been in that trade of mind ever since. So I follow you, brother. I follow you. That's why the prime server encourages increasing the population. Of course, more people, more real estate. Of course, more money to bargain for loans from the international community. Man, you could not have said it in the most honest and accurate way. This is a fact. This is a fact. And they know this. And that's why they pretty much turn our young people to focus on nothing but what? They sexualize the young ladies and the young men. Let's go ahead and let them run them loose, because once they run around loose right now, they're not looking for nothing right now out of the system. They're looking into the social media, they're looking into the videos and the music, and all they're seeing is everything is sexualized, man. So once they start to function on that level without the direction and the guidance, well, we can have a lost generation producing lost generations. More cattle, more chattel for the farms. Serious. Serious, man. Dapper say, second you, Emmanuel. I overs. Black's Law Dictionary. That's right. That's right. Always to hand, family. Get you a copy. Get you a copy as best you can, because you start to see this thing from a different light. And this is why I'm saying to Ralph Thorne. If Ralph Thorne is really about the people, there's things that Ralph Thorne should be talking about, including the Black's Law, though. I ain't seeing Ralph Thorne talk the Black's Law. Ralph ain't talk about the Black's Law Dictionary. He's a lawyer. I'm sure he has one or two or three, fourth edition preferably. Just like those black African slave sellouts, the Barbados BB politicians are just carrying on the slave trade by selling out Barbadians. Facts. Ain't no different, Noel. That's what I'm saying. Ain't no different. How the minister get called before how there's a fire and the minister get called before the fire station? But make it make sense. What you're suggesting is that you're that important that you get a call before the fire station to determine whether or not to deploy the fire station. A fire going on and somebody call you. If they work for you, Corey, tell them in the future to call the fire station first and then call you. Because what you saying, man, is a red flag, man. Look like you starting fires, man. That's what that sound like. Somebody working on you. Anyhow, it sound funny. Corey. You might want to read, anyhow. In fact, wait a minute. Did I play that one? They said, where was that? I think that was, I don't know if I played that one. In fact, I didn't play that one. I could go and play that one. They said about 30,000 people, Africans that were enslaved, or they enslaved rather, on the Drax Hall plantation, died at the hands of Mr. Drax Hall. 30,000. Let me answer the question. They got 600 acres, right? Give or take. 600 acres. I wonder how many people could fit on 1 acre. Like how many people could fit on an acre? Like how many people could physically fit on an acre land standing up? To hide 30,000 people. That's why I said the population of Barbados was up in the 770,000 when these plantation owners got paid for the freed Africans. But somehow it dwindled down to 270,000. Where did all these people go? Hence, Drax Hall is considered a killing field. House slaves versus field slaves. I wonder if James Drax and Willie Lynch knew each other. I suspect, right, that Willie Lynch is not really Willie Lynch, but Drax Hall with a pseudonym. I'm just saying, family, because this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Hence why they moved the station from the city. Well, again, when they build that Freedom Park, in fact, let me go a little further back. The plan they have for that entire area, let me go a little further back. You all remember when they did the van stand? When they started to do the van stand, they did the first part where they said they're fixing the careenage there. They drudged it out a bit. They put up some walls. They put some rocks and some plants and stuff. They put a first phase. They went all the way up and they stopped by the bridge by Queen's Park. They stopped, then they did part of the van stand. So there were like 4 phases. They did one part on a different government administration. We did, this is not about government. We keep getting this BLP, DLP thing mixed up. And then they came out of that. Then they did the other phase afterwards. They did the van stand, the bus terminal, kind of stuff like that. They did that. Then did another part of it, then going further up the globe. Well, all these are parts of development plans for Barbados / Jamaica / Bridgetown. Part of that also is that area known as Nelson Street, Freedom Park, and the hotels that's supposed to go up, going all the way up to Bay Street. They have a whole plan for that area already. And there's some proposals and some outlines and some rendering of what it's supposed to look like. Even some walkthroughs, but we don't be a part of those meetings, so we don't see that. But there's plans, family. So yes, when they moved the fire station, they knew that Nelson Street got to go as well. But how are they going to do it? The how. It's the how. We're going to keep the old buildings, the French architect and whatnot. You see all them houses around there that people squatting on, because I don't know if those house spots are actually spots that are owned by people. A lot of them are so small and so tiny, it makes you wonder, are these really house spots, or this is like maybe land area that was considered squatters' tenantry that nobody said anything for a very long time? Like, I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2 spaces might be legitimately owned by some folks, but maybe for the most part, who knows? But they got a plan for that area. This is all part of the relocation plan. Burn them out. They didn't want to leave, burn them out. Nelson Street got to pull together right now more than ever before, and do not trust these ministers. I gonna say it, man. Serious. So that's why they moved the fire station, for the convenience of such situation. Oh, convenience of such situations. Brother said the fire truck got there based on international time. I don't even know why he said that. Like, what is that based on, Corey? The distance? When you say they got there based on international time, international standard, is that based on the distance away from the fire station? Just a question, because I didn't know how you calculate its international standard. They got there by international time. So what's the international time? International roads are sometimes wider, the highways. There's even a fire lane. We ain't got no fire lane. Depending on the traffic that day, traffic is a factor. How many cars on the road that can move out the way? How many cars can maneuver? That drive from Calmarock is a 2-lane road. If the road is congested, a fire truck broad. And here's a question. The issue of water in the trucks. I didn't want to touch it, but I'm going to touch it in part. Let me say this, man. The guy mentioned in the fire truck that the truck can carry a minimum of, I think he said, I don't know if he said minimum or max. And I don't want to go back to that video either, because I don't want to put the light on the fire station, because the fire station are doing what they're told. Now, if they have fire trucks that have capacities of water to carry water capacity, I don't know how much gallons of water truck, but I'm almost sure the man said 600 gallons of water as a minimum. I don't know if the truck came there with a minimum of 600 gallons of water, but let me paint a picture for you. A 600-gallon tank of water is maybe 6 feet tall, with maybe a 4-foot diameter, if I was not mistaken. 600 gallons in a lot of water, not to go to a fire with anyhow. So like I said, I do not know how much water these fire trucks carry. People say the water truck didn't carry water. They didn't have no water. I don't know. I wasn't there. People say that the water was used for the truck. I would like to think that people know when a truck spouting water versus pure running around looking for water, especially the trucks came and they went suddenly looking for water. I know water was being utilized. I do not know, but I don't know, family. Like I said, there's a whole development plan for Nelson Street. Do not kid yourself to think that these people who took the pure money to develop the place got to put things in motion here. I'm just saying, man. I was just thinking the same thing. I wanted them homes insured, because if they were insured, they ain't going to burn them. They're going to burn the ones that not insured. So the question is, well, I'm almost sure that, because insurance they want to pay, insurance is going to be consulted on this. Well, listen, if you're going to be doing this, you got to consult us, because we ain't paying out the money, so y'all got to give us money that we got to pay out. Or find that the fire was not natural, or we try to blame somebody or whatever and try to find a way out of it, because I don't know if they have fire insurance. That's the good question. Mr. Corey Lane, question, are those homes in your constituency insured? Did you advise folks who live in that environment that look like that to, in fact, I'm going to tell you, everybody in Nelson Street right now who live in Nelson Street, if you don't have insurance for your house, get insurance for your house. Get insurance for your house. Get fire insurance. And if I have to recommend an insurance company, cheese on bread. I don't know. We need our own insurance company, family. That's what we need, because I know, find a black-owned insurance company. That's a risky thing there, man. But go insure your home, family. Go and get fire insurance. What till they derail that plan, because not only they got to relocate you, they got to pay you too. Don't play around with them. Don't play around with them at all, man. GZ asks, who's Willie Lynch? Somebody asks, who's Willie Lynch? I can put the video up. I got a link on my Facebook page in one of my videos about how to make a slave. He allegedly wrote a manifesto on how to make a slave and then how to break a slave. He wrote how to make one and how to break one, and a lot of other books he wrote too in terms of slavery. But I don't know if I too subscribe to Willie Lynch personally. I think the ideology of Willie Lynch has perpetuated itself by we keep thinking about it. I think we need to forget about a lot of stuff and do what we need to do. We don't need to ask Drax for the Drax plantation. Well, it's obvious what's going on. We need to take Drax plantation from Drax plantation. And simple as that. Rename that and let me go. Let me go. While we at it, we need to get rid of the plantocracy. That's easy. Well, create your own governing body. You're only governed by consent. So if you don't want these fools to govern you, just create your own governing body and govern yourself. It is that simple. Okay, it might come with a little resistance from them. I ain't saying not, but since we fighting anyhow, let me fight for a real cause, not fight for a scotch on their bench. Let's not fight for a scotch on their bench on the day roof. Let's fight to build our own. It's a different drive when you do it that way, man. It's a different motivation, a different anthem. We marching? Yeah, Thorne, we marching all right. But we marching out of Egypt. You could bet that. It don't look like you marching out of Egypt. It doesn't look like you marching out of Egypt, Mr. King's Counsel. It looked like he want to be Pharaoh's right hand, man. She said, you understand, all those people in Nelson Street have to move to make way for development. Of course, that's what they were building those homes for up there by St. David's Church. That area up there somewhere. I don't remember the name of it, but the homes were so small, folks said, well, I ain't going up there. We ain't going up there, and we ain't moving. Oil-based paint is for wooden structures, more flammable. This is my point. That's why they put the homes in Kensington, they give out paint, right? I wonder what kind of paint they gave them. Just saying, people in Orleans need to pay attention here. Oil-based paint is more flammable, especially if they made a special batch of paint just for you. Just for you. I'm just telling, look, man, family, this ain't no game, man. The people coming for the land. They want their land. That's what they say. We want our land. We stole it. We captured it. We want it back. Y'all watching too much Marcia Weeks and Politically Incorrect. Y'all watching too much Lumumba program. Y'all getting too smart. Y'all getting too smart, man. Greetings, family. Greetings. We see you. Always on time. Barbados is a credit-based society. Learn how to use credit. We can enrich ourselves. That is the only way we can change our status. Learn about the UCC. That what we operate. That what we operate under. That's what we operate under. Listen, brother. Like I said, man, we're gonna have to start having that conversation. But we're gonna keep giving them milk and then soft foods and then give them solid foods as we go along. As we go along, man. As we speak, I'm getting messages from all walks of life. I see you. I see you. Okay, I got you. I see you. Show it to Black Lion Security. I got your message. Jackie, I missed your call today. Well, I didn't miss your call. We had a different conversation. But we need to speak about that thing I told you we need to speak about. Universal Commercial Code. For sure, for sure. Listen, family, let me say the last thing before I go. Well, for now, tonight. They said TMC, the Marcia Week showed plans to develop St. Michael. Weeks later, 48 people are homeless. Let me tell you something, family. Barbados is not a democracy. Get a copy of Barbados Constitution right now. For those who like the online Googling, go Google it, go on the government website and scan it or research it. The word democracy is written nowhere in the Constitution of Barbados from 1651, 1653, the slave codes. The word democracy is not written in the Independence Constitution. The word democracy is not written in the Republican or Republic of Barbados Constitution. Barbados is not a democracy based on how we have been told. Mr. Ralph Thorne knows this. Mr. Ralph Thorne also knows that Barbados currently does not have a legitimate constitution. He knows this. I have yet to hear him speak about this. There is no constitution. There is no democracy. It is a plantation under the guise of freedom, of inclusion, the illusion. It is a plantation. Barbados is a plantation. That's why Miss Motley goes overseas asking for debt deferment. That's what she's asking for. Just a fancy way of putting it. I don't have the eloquency of her, so I put it in a layman term. She talked about deferring the debt. Deferring it to when? Deferring it to when your children born, so that then we'll pay the bills. We're going to live lovely now, get rich like Mr. Drax Hall, get fat, eat all of our imported meats. We're going to put the bill on the children to pick up the tab. Yeah, Corey Lynn said he received a call before the fire service. Well, I don't understand that one, Jeff. He got me beat bad. Those built houses that are empty, now the government official can put the fire victims into those houses. No. Like he said, they're going to stay at the Savannah Hotel for now, give them a couple days to catch themselves, a little staycation, put some money in the Savannah Hotel owner, because right now this in tourist season, to my knowledge, so the place must be empty anyhow. Get them a little money, throw some money at some folks, and you know how that goes. Listen, we found some place for y'all to go temporary. These same homes up the road here, you got to go here for now, and we're gonna relocate you here till we sort out down the road. But the sort out down the road is a different sort out. Because they can come and say, well, wait a minute, y'all ain't had no title deeds to that property, so we really can't put you back on that spot. Do you have a document? Well, my grandmother did pay the taxes, but I don't know what happened to it because we never paid a land tax in how long, and we didn't pay a tax in how long, and we don't know nothing about that. Well, I don't know if I can relocate y'all down there, but if you could find me the documents, well, we could do that. But other than that, we're not getting permission because we need the documents. But we ain't got the documents, so you can go and stay right where we put you. The documents were burned in the fire. The fire trucks came without water. Everybody's saying that, man. And if they did, man, I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. But like I said, that's why we still on the fire. Even if they had water, they wasn't going to pump water. They did their fire service there to contain the fire and save lives at best. Get you out the house, make sure everybody's safe. But the house got to burn because y'all got to go. You got to go. The mysterious fire cleared the land and killed a few people. Nothing new here. That's right. Same thing. Same thing. Fire burned in such a way. Y'all notice how hot it was recently? Or just me? Nobody notice how hot it was recently? Correct. Still the same, just hiding in the background, for sure. I'm reading old comments, man. I'm trying to keep up. Yeah, I can't keep up with y'all, man. What a coincidence, huh? What a coincidence. The packaging is different, but the price is the same. Facts. Drax, the original blueprint. That's right. Correct. That's right. The fire truck said, we had no water either. I mean, I'm just saying, family. Those family know the enslaved family got a penny, yet they're sitting on all that wealth, 12 million pounds for one family, and being able to be prime minister or MP because of their wealth. Yeah, Mr. Drax had never lost a seat in his constituency, although apparently most people don't like him. For some reason, he keep getting back the seat. He got the money. Jackie said, and while it was still smoking, some celebrities, including Oprah, buy it up. Listen, I'm telling you, man. Nelson Street for sale. They said the government has Chinese empty steel houses built. Hope houses. Nah, them homes and all metal homes. A lot of that is the other M&M fella slabs, man. He said, so the Drax family related to the royal families? God, this making me think how deep this goes. What if I told y'all, right, that right there in St. James, the bottom of Westmoreland Hill, right next to Calling Club, there's a house that's fenced in. There's a fence, then there's another fence, then there's a bunch of trees. I think there's another fence behind that. Do y'all know, right, that that land also needs to be confiscated in Barbados? Ralph Thorne, here's another project for you. The Queen's House, that's on the West Coast, that sits at the bottom of the hill next to Colony Club entrance, that driveway. In fact, if you go up the driveway at Colony Club, you could see the entrance to the house on your right. Yeah, boy, come out things, man. Come out things. That piece of land right there too. Yeah, we got to talk about that. You know, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, family, this is a new Barbados. I don't know if y'all realize this. We live in an Aquarius time, family. We living in the time of Aquarius, man. We ain't hiding. We ain't hiding. Is this a case of create the problem, then offer the solution? Ask Corey, because he getting phone calls quick. He might know something. I don't. You have to call Corey and ask him. This is how they're moving people out of Nelson Street. I'm telling you, family. Golden Sands too. That's right. They said this once in the long term, they don't find ways to make those individuals pay for the rooms and board. Nah, Andrea, they're not staying there no long term. That ain't how that going on. They're gonna stay there as long as the government paying that hotel. Once the government stop paying that hotel, they out. They out into those homes that they were supposed to go to in the first place up there in St. Davis, somewhere in that vicinity before you get to the St. Davis Church. If you're driving up there, if you pass Bartel and keep driving and going up past the Upton Close Brethren compound or whatever land they claim they own up that side too, right next to that, somewhere on that road, I think there's a stretch of houses that they were supposed to be building for the relocation program for Nelson Street, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm incorrect, family, correct me. But yeah, you know what's going on, man. He may have received a call from the starter. Let me sip this, mind my business. Because that's exactly what it sounds like. I got a call before the fire station got the official call. I can't believe he said that. Like, family, is it me? Because y'all make me think I'm weird or I'm strange or something, man. They put this right in your face, and I don't know what else to say at this point. Unless the person who started the fire called him. I mean, Corey, inquiring minds want to know, Corey, the paradox of your enigma at this point, because I can't believe, man. Is it very strange they called it minister first? It ain't strange, not if they're working. It said more creations, your brain whacking. Serious. Serious, man. So the first house and so many burned so long. So how long them really take? Well, the thing is, he said when he first got there, maybe he wasn't far. Maybe he wasn't far, you know? So that's not, maybe he wasn't far. Maybe he was not as far as the fire station in Comara. Yes. His fires. I know, I heard him, man. I don't know, man. I don't know why he would get out there and say that. But again, when you get comfortable, right? You start to slip. You start to slip. Say it sounds like I'm feeling sick. I'm going to call a friend or family member before I call the emergency service. Yeah. Yeah. You said he's slipping? Nah, he ain't slipping. He ain't slipping. He ain't slipping. Corey been getting groomed since the Fun Ranch days. We know the Fun Ranch, man. I won't even go there. I won't even go there, but I won't even go there. Out of respect, man. I won't even go there. But I know a lot more than that, man. Minister must be the chief fire officer. Listen, y'all, listen. The families in Nelson Street need support. In reality, for the concern, the government should give them everything they need. Corporate Barbados should give them everything they need. They should not rely on anybody in Barbados to make any donations of any sort, other than moral support and hopeful well wishes. Because the government should rush their aid right now, take a list of everything they need and supply that immediately. We ain't want the charities collecting nothing and donations from churches all over. No, Corey, we don't want none of that. We don't want none of that. Y'all have the resources. See, this is the thing I keep talking about. You always want to take from people. No, we ain't donating nothing from that capacity. Who want to help, fine. But I'm saying the government should take full responsibility, Mr. Minister, for creating that situation in the first place and displacing those people the way y'all did. Because y'all did it. In fact, Corey, why don't you donate your whole month's salary to that cause? What you make right now, 18,000? That'll go a long way. It's a start. How about every minister donate half their salary towards this cause? We could calculate that. They 30 all. 30 all, there's supposed to be what? Y'all making roughly, let me say 20,000 a piece or more. How much ministers is make right now? How much ministers making? Move the fire station from the Bridgetown to the Pine. I think the people in the Pine need to be very careful because the Pine is also being viewed for redevelopment here. They've been wanting that real estate for a long time because they overlooked the valley. The Pine is prime real estate. It was supposed to be a temporary, something that ended up being long-term. It wasn't intended to be long-term. That's why they can't get about in the documents, the title deeds. It was a temporary something. They can't even give the people in the Pine the title deeds because it wasn't supposed to be in a long-term thing. It wasn't. The average total response time to primary fires in England in 2029/2020 was 8 minutes and 43 seconds. England is a different demographic. It's a different demographic, family. A different demographic. I can't keep up with you all. Red flags galore. Red flags galore. Barbados is a new fantasy island. Those descendants know where the family money comes from. Of course, they know it came from. Of course, they celebrate it every time, man. They have balls and feasts and parties to celebrate, man. That's right. It belongs to the people, and more is owed. Seems like this was all perfect plan. Yes, that's right. Mr. Barrow's name is Barack. His original name, anyway, but his Jewish name, anyway. Well, his family's legacy, for sure. The house slaves did not get better treatment from Massa. They didn't get better treatment. They didn't get better treatment because they were the ones who were more mentally, I can't even find the word to put it. They weren't treated better. Trust when see, that's the illusion they give us. The ones in the house were not treated better. They were beaten mentally first to the point where they didn't even know themselves anymore. They lost touch with their identity. Whereas the ones in the field, we always knew. We was always in touch. We was always aware. We was always the ones running and ducking and doing what we got to do. The ones in the house got it worse, man. They were psychologically molested, and raped, and ravished, and colonized, and then sent outside to try to teach that to those outside. We was like, nah, homie, we ain't about that life. Yeah, that's crazy. He said that, right? Yes, that is crazy. He said that. Family, I can't believe he said that. Yes, of course, it's red flags. Correct is right. Correct the mundo, man. Questions: who benefit from these loans? Come on, you know who benefit. You know who benefit. They don't understand when the puppeteers is finished using them, they will get the same or worse treatment. Of course they're gonna get it worse. They don't know that yet though. After enslavement, when told to go, the laws were changed to recapture the people, for trespassing and loitering, etc. That was the gimmick. That is exactly the gimmick. That is exactly the gimmick. This is the question right now. Listen, this is the most important question. Don't get me wrong. Fire is a serious thing. My grandmother's house experienced the same thing. I know what that's like, man. That fire, unlike a flood, it can dry out things and catch things. You know, a fire don't forgive. A fire doesn't forgive. Serious trauma. It's a serious traumatic thing. But here's a question though, that's really important. Are the people in Nelson Street aware that if they don't have any title deeds to that spot where they were on, they are not going back there? The government is not going to put them back. All those families that were displaced, if you know somebody, send this link to them, get a message to them, let them aware that if you do not have any ownership to the property, meaning evidence where you could show you have documents, or you go and get a new copy from the registry, if you can't prove ownership at this point, you're not going back there because the government is not going to put you back on land you can't claim belongs to you. They claim. Serious, man. Greetings, Aaron. We see you. Play them naming it Freedom Park. Yeah. They built two sheds. Two high-rise sheds. You know when you got a bunch of cattle on the farm and his son, you got to build some sheds so that when they get warm, they could go under there and cool out. Most likely they're not insured. And unfortunately, I hope they have titles at least. If they have titles, they should have insurance. If they ain't got insurance, they probably don't have titles. Anyhow, these people wicked to all, man. For real. This is why I'm saying Ralph Thorne, family, stop playing with Ralph Thorne, man. Hold Ralph Thorne accountable. You for the opposition. Stop preaching, man. Nobody want to hear your Bible. Well, let me not say that. Because I do the same thing sometimes. Let me say this, man. In all your declaring the word and the gospel, drop some nuggets for the people, man. Speak that legalese, in layman terms, so the people understand that you're really for the people. Let them know about their status or the lack thereof. And that's why the people get treated the way they get treated by the police, the firemen, the hospital, and all. Thank God for the caring men and women of the security forces that really do care. Thank God for the people who work the fire service that really do care. And give thanks for those who work in the hospital and the schools, teachers who really do care. To the rest, I wanna look, it is so obvious at this point, man, when they can't even hide no more. The light is on, man. Like roaches, it's time to scatter. So that means they're going to leave a trail of smoke everywhere. It is sad. Facts. The helicopters flying over St. Philip. You thought cricket was in St. Michael? I don't even want to touch it, man. Cricket in St. Michael. No, are they talking facts and strategy? He said, no, we are talking facts and strategy, bro. That's how we got to do it, family. That's how we got to do it, man. Nothing is ever solved in Barbados. No one is ever held accountable. Whoa. The people, family, tell a friend and tell a friend, tell a friend and tell a friend, tell a friend and tell a friend, man. This is truly sad. What's going on in Barbados? So much to think about. And these same people break up the night rest and curse one another for the same politician. This is pure wickedness, man. Them all want to blame the fire on climate change. They will want to blame the fire on climate change. Aaron, it probably was though. You were so warm it is lately. Well, I guess when they do an investigation, they fire a truck with. It's funny how they had you see the amount of fires had in the last couple of days. In fact, I watched the firemen out in the fire with water on a house right there by Bartel House or whatever they call it, up by Government Hill. I thought it was so comical. It wasn't even funny, man. Like look, man, look. I remember this fire, sis. It burned for 60 hours. I remember this. Family, look, man. Let me roll up out of here, man. And they're still investigating how the fire started. They know how the fire started. From the outside in, trap the people. The fires, yes, they burn to the ground. Why do we have a fire service if the houses keep all burning to the ground? Interestingly enough, huh? Good question. Good question. When do the ministers ever give back? They ain't giving back. They ain't giving back crap. In fact, they probably give back a top up to the fellow who keep calling them. That's about it. The government has the resources to help these fire victims. Let a tourist get injured in Barbados. Watch it. Let a tourist get injured in Barbados through some form of a crime or something. Somebody rob a tourist and shoot him in the leg or something like has happened before. They offer them all kind of money, all kind of packages, all kind of apology, all kind of stuff, and they go and come back and go and come back. Guess what? They're finding money then. Again, it's taxpayers, man. So how about ball down, right, family? Barbados and Barbadians, the chattel is who will end up paying the bill. However you splice it and dice it. This is why I'm saying, since they're going to build the people of Barbados anyhow, and we all got to pay the bills anyhow, including theirs, let's simply get rid of them. Totally. Let's create our own governing body and govern ourselves. Simple. Come out of her, my people. Barbados National Congress. It's time to leave out of them. Come out of her, my people. Ralph Thorne, you read that verse? It didn't say rush and go back in and argue with the people inside the house. It said come out. In fact, as opposition leader, whatever that means, I would like to think that seeing as how you speaking Bible, quoting verse, and it's the Ben and these guys sending you these other messages. What is your plan if you were elected prime minister today? If you were selected to be prime minister today, well, tomorrow, it's kind of late now. What are the first 5 things you would do, Mr. Thorne? Can you hold a press conference and tell us that? What are the first 5 things you would do? You are selected for prime minister tomorrow, Mr. Thorne. In fact, better yet, call a number or call my number. I will only ask you one question. That same question. I won't ask you no other questions. Come or call Marcia. Tell us, what are the 5 things you would do? The first 5 things. Within the first 5 days. You got a week to respond to that question, Ralph. Yeah, I gave you a time frame too. In fact, you ain't got a week, you got 5 days. You got 5 days. You got 5 days, man. Look, we talk about Drax, right? We here talk about Drax in England and MP, right? You got MPs right in Barbados that in the same position as Drax, whose family had benefited from the enslavement of Africans in this country for generations. For perhaps not the inception, maybe some even the inception, but there's some who have benefited from the fallout of the enslaved right here in Barbados. Serious. R.A.T. the Pharisee. Yeah. Interesting choice of words, man. Interesting choice of words. I believe that many will be found wanting, and I am sure that this is what has been known prior to the fires. Of course, the information is crucial. People will have to accept what they are given. It is a fact, man. You wonder if Alex Mitchell really owns that land? Alex got the receipts. Alex Mitchell got the title deeds. So even if they claim they sold it, they stole it from the system, Ms. Beckles, and created their own documents, well, Alex got copies and information. Alex been doing this for quite a while. In fact, Mr. Ralph Thorne, Alex is one of his clients. Alex is one of his clients. I mean, I got a copy of the check. I put the check up, unless I got in fact, I got a copy of the receipt as well from Mr. Thorne's office. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Barbados is a mysterious place. Nah, not anymore, sis. We living in Aquarius now, man. The mystery is up. The mystery is my story. The mystery is your story. The mystery is our story, family. Fabian said, God is not sleeping. Neither his people. Know this, family. God has never come to earth and did God's work. God has always used his people to do just that. The word took on flesh and dwell amongst man, right? That's right. That's where we at, family. That's where we at. So that's where we at, family. What time is it? Oh, man, 2 hours. I ain't even realize that. Family, look, I usually don't stick up on this like before. You know what I mean? It's only so much one could say. If you ain't hear it by now, you ain't gonna never hear it. That's just a reality. And so, having said that, we will reclaim all of our stolen lands. That's right, all of our stolen lands, including the Queen's house there on the West Coast next to Colony Club. Got about 2 or 3 fences. You can't even see past the hedge to see what's going on inside. Keep in mind that there are people who work inside the Queen's house that loyal to that, because by now I would think they'd be having, look, man. Mr. Ralph Thorne, what's the first 5 things you do as elected Prime Minister of Barbados tomorrow? We don't want to hear what the government doing wrong, how they getting away paint and always some exposing. We don't want to hear that anymore. What are your plans for future Barbados? They call election tomorrow. Where you going to go? Go on the platform and just sling political mud and try to turn people against me and Motley to hope that they turn towards you? Don't sell out, Mia. Tell the people what your plan is for their future. What promises you promising? What promises you promising? Comfort the fools accordingly, as the saying goes. Anyhow, I am Aquarius. I love it, Monica. That's right. The water bearer. Who's queen? That's their queen. Well, she probably is their queen. That's my point. You never know. That's their dwellings. There's so much in Barbados, man. So much, family. So much. So much. The brother said, I like this, but people can't allow God to sleep in them. Wake up the God in you and do what needs to be done. I'm going to tell you this much. I told someone the other day, but people can't allow God to sleep in them. I told someone that everyone has an alarm time, a set time. And because it was a point in time, I didn't even know what I now know. I then forgot probably what some people would never know. And I'm saying that to say that when the appointed time comes, and I suspect that time is drawing nigh, we as a people, those who are in tune and would resonate to the frequency, they say that when that time comes, to use the scripture again loosely, they say, when my sheep hear my voice, they will follow. And I always say, it is better to have 100 sheep being led by a lion than 100 lions being led by these sheep, so-called politicians here. Because all they're going to lead you to is slaughter. We in a whole new day, family. Arise, family. Arise. Straight up. Straight up. So while others might sleep, those of us who are up, like Gideon's army, a lot of folks got to go home. So God got to sleep in them. They got to go home. In fact, the reason why God is deciding to sleep in them is because if they was up, they probably get in your way. Let them go along home. God said, I can work with the faithful few. I don't need everybody. I working with the politically incorrect family and those of like-mindedness to bring a different perspective. Everybody have a perspective, which is a piece to the puzzle. So we all bringing a piece to the puzzle. Everybody bring a piece of the puzzle. At some point, they're going to get the picture. Speaking of getting the picture, Mia, I got another song for you tonight. I got two at. Wait. I jumped the gun. Whoa. Jumped the gun. I got another one for you tonight, man. Let me go ahead and put this up. Wait. Right. This is it here. This is the one. Share this one instead. That was a quick one there, boy. All right. Since you like Morgan Heritage, right? I got another one for you, man. Oh, I got another one for you, man. I know you like Morgan Heritage, man. Let me just put Morgan Heritage up here for you real quick, man.
Jamaica no know how we live things. Say everything nice, true, we full of vibes and things. Them same one feel it to them heart when them get few understand the real thing. Yeah. No people come to Jamaica no know how we live things. Say everything nice, true, we full of vibes and things. Them same one feel it to them heart when them get few understand the real thing. Yeah. Me day at town one day with a white man we come all the way from Norway. And him turn to me and say, how comes Jamaica full of so much screw face? Same time he lift me head to the sky.
Here comes Mia.
And a teardrop fall from me heart.
Here comes Mia.
Say man, you'd come and go out for a drive. Let me show you why.
Tell them Morgan Heritage.
Look on the gully side.
Look what the politicians doing, man.
Do you see anything to smile about?
Look at Nelson Street, family.
Yeah. Do you see anything to smile?
Anything to smile about?
Look at the schools where you them go to get them educated.
Look at the schools, man.
See anything?
Environmental issues.
Look at the conditions of our police stations. Do you see anything to smile?
Look at the police station and dying mysteriously, man.
That's it. How can the nation be living this way? And the next thing him say, how can the government play so many games?
How can the government play so many games?
All to the ground, cause there's much more where that comes from.
How can the government play so much games?
They're worse than slum. Youth man come and take a look on Riverton.
Look at the Orleans, man.
Anything to smile about, look on Pienland, yeah. Do you see anything to smile about? Flankers, Mobay and Cyprus Heights in Spain. Do you see anything to smile?
Up on Westmoreland, man.
Kentaya Motown.
Up on Sandy Lane, man.
Do you see anything to smile?
See a big difference, man.
No. No.
Up on the galley side, man.
No, when me say, no people come to Jamaica, no know how we live things. Say everything nice, true, we full of vibes and things. Them same one feel it to them heart when them get you overstand the real thing. When them look on the gully side, them no see nothing they fi smile about. When them look on a hungry child, yeah. Them no see nothing they fi smile about. When them look on the schools, where the youth them got to get them education, them no see nothing they fi smile about. When them sight up the condition of the police station, them no see nothing they fi smile about.
We got to do better for the children, family.
Yeah, town one day, I call with a white man, we come all the way from Norway. And him turn to me and say, how comes Jamaica full of so much screw face? Same time he lift me head to the sky. and a teardrop fall from me high. Me say my youth come with God for a drive. Let me show you why me cry. Take a look on Riverton.
Take a look on Riverton, family. Let me tell you what's going on, man. You know, that just for me. I know she said she loved Morgan Heritage, man, but I can't play that one and not play this one because I got one more for you here. Hold up, Mia. Got one more for you, man. Another Morgan Heritage. The times we living in, family. This is the time we living in. And like I said, man, Nelson Street is a sad thing. I'm just happy that nobody lost their life. No one was injured seriously. But losing your possessions and your things, your family, you know, that's, you know, sentimental value. There's nothing replacing that, you know, family photos and, you know, letters and pictures of your children and your parents or whatever. It's a serious thing, man. So, you know, we send strength and energy to the family in Nelson Street and across Barbados as a whole. We need to find ways to come together on a different level, family. We need to leave Egypt. I can't keep preaching that. I can't say it enough. You cannot trust the politicians at that level unless they show you that they're about doing something different. If they show that, fine. If they're not showing you that, if they're not looking to empower you as a people, if they ask you to give them the power, nah. We did that too long. Mr. Ralph Thorne, 5 things in 5 days, man. What you plan to do for Barbados? You know, what you plan to do for Barbados? You plan to leave the common entrance and the educational system the way it is? Just a quick question. Another question for you. What's your position on the land and redistribution of land in Barbados? Namely, Drax and all the other land, including, you ain't gonna like this though, Ralph, the Anglican Church in Barbados. Yes, Cardrington College, the seminar, Ralph. What's your view on all that land the Anglican Church gained as a result, like Drax Hall, true slavery? What's your position, Mr. Ralph Thorne? Are you going to redistribute all that land to the people of Barbados? What's the plan, Mr. Ralph Thorne? Just a question. I got a few more. Economic development. What's your position on cannabis, what you call marijuana or otherwise? What's your position on ganja, Mr. Thorne? Legalize it. What's your position, Mr. Thorne, Mr. Minister? Just answer for a friend. You want me to answer? You want me to give you 2 more? Like I can think of a whole bunch of questions. I want you to come up. In fact, let me give you 1 more. What is the plan for the economic development of this nation outside of going to the IMF, World Bank, or who else they got? Is the IMF, World Bank, and whoever other international, whatever. What's the plan? Because as far as I'm concerned, between me and you, Ralph, tell Charles you want to borrow the keys. No, not the key to Bridgetown. The key to He Vault. Because when last I checked, the Queen said she's worth, what? It was $16 trillion or something so? So the way I see it, Ralph, you ain't got to worry about economic development for Barbados. Just go along and then take up a few of them gold bars, you know. Probably we could start with a little 100 billion to start with. We could start with 100 billion. We could start with 100 billion. That would be sufficient. Well, we erasing the debt already. We ain't paying out the loans. We done with that. We start with $100 billion. And we will develop Barbados. Simple. You think people got money, they're going to start working? Some people love what they do. Man love construction. Man love to build houses. We builders, we natural builders. Man love to farm. If you got the right equipment and the resources, man, I love farming, man. Man love building, man. Although man making money, man building. We builders. In fact, we ain't even working for money no more. At this stage, we working for what we developing. Everybody got a house, you got the transportation, you got better roads, we got better infrastructure, we got better schools, we got better healthcare, better learning institutions for the different levels. I did say schools before, but that's reiterating that because that's that important. Agriculture, please. Well, Tarman, we growing all kind of foods here, greenhouses, all kind of things, growing fruits, growing strawberries by the pound, man. Let me talk now, man. Mr. Ralph, you want more ideas? Give me a call, man. Number on the screen, 838-8253. For the concern, until then, you ain't ready. You ain't ready at all. So in the meantime, in between time, this is what we doing, man.
Yeah, man. Loyal to the awakening.
What you doing, Ralph?
Morgan Heritage.
Do it, people. Rise up and live
Rise up, rise up, rise up. Rise up, rise up, rise up.
And live, yeah. Now behold, we awakening. Now behold, we awakening. I and I are done. With them lies and propaganda, I are done. Oh yeah. The world is in a conscious state of mind.
Conscious state of mind.
Conscious state of mind.
Conscious state of mind, Ralph. Conscious state of mind, man. You want your Pisces philosophy.
Oh, nah. 2,000 years of mental slavery. Cast these chains from us. Sons and daughters, we are of spirituality. So let your light shine from us. Jah say we run them, run them, run them. Run the deceivers and liberate the mass. Jah say we run them, run them, run them. Run the deceivers and liberate the mass. The world is in a conscious state of mind.
Conscious state of mind.
Conscious state of mind, family. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Fabian, I see a question here. Wait, there's a question. Say 5 days. If it's not good, you can get my vote. But I'm not sure you understand that, Mr. Fabian. You saying that Ralph could get the vote if he's good, if it's good in 5 days. I'm not sure what you're suggesting. Just a little clarity, Fabian. Just a little clarity, man.
The awakening.
The awakening. The awakening, family. We're dealing with the lies and propaganda, man.
Just hear me now. The truth we are find out for ourselves. Now
we know the truth, Ralph.
Jack come teach we nothing else.
Don't teach me nothing else.
I am on them, I know them want to sense of them. Where do them want to research and then start to enlighten friends? When in a conscious state of mind.
Behold.
A conscious state of
Behold.
This is how the world that
goes. The world works, man.
It has been in its now because
living in a new day, Ralph. A new day. You don't get the memo.
Black and white march side by side.
Side by side.
In this fight to liberate.
Liberation time, man.
Liberate.
You don't want what opposition?
No longer
it's liberation we dealing with, family.
Turn a blind eye to what is going on.
You get in one accord, family.
Congregate.
Instead of posing the opposition. Dealing with liberation, family. It's all language. It's life or death in the tongue. God don't fight nobody. God don't fight nobody. God set the trend, man. Behold, man. He say, let there be light, and there was light. The awakening, family.
I done. With them lies and propaganda, I done. Now behold the awakening. Now behold the awakening. I done.
The awakening, family.
With them lies and propaganda, I done.
We're done with the lies and propaganda.
The world is in a conscious state of mind.
Conscious state of mind.
Conscious state of mind. I done.
Conscious state of mind, family.
Behold the awakening.
See, Dawn bread, man. I tell you, I can't even play that tune once, though. I can let that play when you roll out. Anyhow, family, Haile Selassie first, Empress Wazira Menin is the one perfect balance, man. Kidamawi. That's what we're dealing with, family. Give thanks to all y'all for sharing your time, energy, synergy, and this reality. Be getting the clarity. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to deal with this thing, family. I ain't knocking the rest. All I'm saying is that everybody got a role to play in the kingdom. Show it to all the kingdom builders, man. Rebuilders, man. Ralph, I just give you the whole plan right there, Ralph. You ain't got no excuse, man. Straight up, man. Straight up. We want the money, the oil, to put in the resources. We don't want, and by the way, we don't want the government of the plantation to determine we outcome. So hence, we coming out of Egypt, we're going to build our own. Anybody right now that claiming they coming to represent you as a people, if they're not speaking the language of the people, tell them to gwe. Tell them to gwe.
Yeah, man. Loyal to the awakening.
Loyal to the awakening, family.
Marvin Heritage.
They're going to answer that question, though.
People, rise up and live.
Rise up, rise up, rise up.
Rise up and live.
Rise up, rise up, rise
I are done. With them lies and propaganda, I are done. Oh yeah, the world is in a conscious state of mind. Conscious state of mind. Conscious state of mind.
Up to the whole faith family, man. Up to the whole faith family, man. Up to this National Congress, man. People's National Congress. I need to write that down here.
Sons and daughters.
Up to this National Congress, man. The People's National
Let
Congress.
your light shine from us.
Let the light shine from within us, family.
Run the deceivers and liberate the mass. Jaja say fi run them, run them, run them. Run the deceivers and liberate the mass.
Right.
The world is in a conscious state of mind.
Thanks you too, family.
A conscious state of mind.
You see, behold, behold the awakening, family. Shout out to Empress and the whole family, Ice Cream Crew. Ice Cream Crew.
With them lies and propaganda, I done. Just hear me now. The truth we are find out for ourselves. Now wait for no teacher come teach we nothing else. The internet back where for them and now them want to sense of them. Where do them want to research and then start to enlighten friends? When in a conscious state of mind, a conscious state of mind. This is how the world that goes. What has been in